नमस्कार जय जगन्नाथ वेलकम टू एजुगियन आईएएस आज आम एक नुआ वीडियो सीरीज स्टार्ट करिबा where we will solve the previous year question papers of UPSC prelims. By now if you are an aspirant आपण भलो भाबे जानि परथिबे the importance of previous year question papers and तार कोन महत्व रहउची आपनको strategy रे, why it is important to solve all the at least last 10 years 15 years previous year question papers because बहुत थोड़ा आपण देखिबे कि questions indirectly or directly repeat हबो. Before getting started with the questions मुझे जस्ट टिके आपको बते दो चाहूँगी जे ए जो आगु को आमे जो कंटेंट आनी के आसुचे वीडियो सीरीज आनी के आसुचे तार पैटर्न तार फॉर्मेट कोन रहइबो. So I have divided the content of the videos theme wise last 10 years रो जहाँ भी क्वेश्चन पेपर्स आमे जेंती जेंती गोटे गोटे वर्ष कवर करी करी जिबा आमे थीम वाइज करी करी जिबा. So 2023 रो आमे आज स्टार्ट करिया को जाउचे. आज मु आपनको इकोनॉमी और पॉलिटी क्वेश्चंस ऑफ 2023 आई विल टेक यू थ्रू देम. नेक्स्ट वीडियो रे हिस्ट्री, ता नेक्स्ट वीडियो रे मे बी एनवायरनमेंट एंड ज्योग्राफी, एंड दिस इज हाउ देन वी विल जंप टू 2022 2021 etc. I'll also try my best to help you revise your concepts, revise your facts, and I'll also help you get better at the art of categorizing the questions into factual, conceptual or 50-50s. Like once you are in the exam hall, whatever notes you have prepared, कौन YouTube video आपण देखिचंती, कोठु आपण रिवाइज करचंती will not matter. सेठी गला परे it's just the questions and you and your heartbeat which is the key factor in deciding whether or not you clear your prelims. सेठी nervousness टाको केमती handle करियार अछि, that is going to determine whether you are going to write the mains. So सेठी गला परे आपण देखिबे कि क्वेश्चंस रो जनरली तीनटा टाइप्स थाए, फैक्चुअल, कंसेप्चुअल और 50-50s. फैक्चुअल इज either you know it or you don't. there is minimum scope for guess work. तो सेठी आपनको रिवीजन आपनको काम केते डेप्थ रे आपण प्रिपेयर करचंती, केते भलसे आपण प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस रो ऑप्शंस को एनालाइज करचंती, केते ता डेप्थ रे जाई कि नोट्स बनेचंती एंड रिटेंशन करि परचंती एग्जाम हॉल रो प्रेशर रे, दैट विल मैटर. Conceptual, concepts questions, generally economy, polity are the subjects where conceptual questions are asked. If you are thorough with the concepts, you can easily get those questions correct. And 50-50s, some knowledge of one option and some smart work. So you will be able to eliminate maybe two options and maybe get stuck at two options, and then 50-50 रू 51-49 आड़ू को आपण किछ ना किछि करी कि पळेबे एंड गोटे ऑप्शन मार दे आसीबे. ठीक हेले हबो, सेमतिया 10टा क्वेश्चन अटेंड करले हुए तो 6टा ठीक हबो, 4टा भूल हबो, बट दैट्स स्टिल अ पॉजिटिव. 4टा ठीक हेले 6टा भूल हेले भी दैट्स स्टिल अ पॉजिटिव. So that kind of guesswork is also important in the exam. I'll help you get that art, how I can solve those questions. And we'll also take learning from every question. UPSC रो गोटे बहुत ज़्यादा misconception है कि you have to study everything under the sun, but that is definitely not the case. There are important themes and sub-themes. There are repeatedly asked aspects, and I'll also tell you how PYQs can help you. Previous year questions हमें को question directly केमती आउथरे indirectly repeat हेइथिला या केउटी पचरा थिला एटा भी हमें देखिबा, and this is how we are going to proceed. So let's now jump straight into the content. Okay, one more thing before that. There are two categories of aspirants who are watching this video. Someone who has just started the preparation and जहाँ पाए कि the content is going to be alien, माने बहुत जिनस एमती आसीबा आगु जो जहाँ विषय आपण सुनी नथिबे, जहाँ विषय आपण पढ़ी नथिबे, and आपन नुआ लागिबो कि भाई मु कुआडे पळे आसली. आपण पई टिप होची just be patient. You will get there. Things will not make sense at this point because there might be some gray areas. But be patient. Rome was not built in a day. Just watch the lectures and get a feel of what is to come. Been preparing for quite some time. आपनको भितरु केते थिबे जे 6 मास वर्षे 1.5 वर्ष हे जीवनी मे बी प्रिपेयर करूचंती, and most of the concepts that you will see here may make sense or may ring a bell कि ओके एटा मु कोठी ओटे देखिथिली, एटा ओटे कोठी पढिथिली, but maybe मते पूरा मने नाही. So आपनो पई टिप हैला, pause the screen and try to apply whatever you know and then watch the explanation. This is how you will train your brain from now on until your next prelims, OPSC prelims ho, UPSC prelims ho, to develop that art of recollecting information, retaining information, and applying it to solve a question. Make notes of where and why you went wrong if you did, and if you got it right, then you certainly are on the right track. Keep improving, keep practicing. So these are the general tips. This is the course plan. Now let's finally jump into the questions. We'll start with Indian economy, and Indian economy is last year 2023's first question. Consider the investments in the following assets. This is a list of four types of investments or assets. You have to, the question is, you have to recognize which of them is intangible. So in order to recognize which of them is intangible, you first have to know the difference between tangible and intangible. In very simple language, first let me explain it with help of analogy from the human side. आमे गोटे मनीष को आमे जेते आमे गोटे मनीष विषय चर्चा करछु, आमे गोटे सांग या फिर गोटे रिलेटिव विषय चर्चा करछु, आमे जनरली को भलिया कथा को भाई ता पाखे ना बहुत पैसा अछि, ता पाखे बहुत बड़ गाड़ी अछि, तार गोटे निजर घर अछि, तार यूएस रे से जाई सेटल हेछि, एतिकी पैसा, एतिकी टंका, एतिकी गोल्ड, व्हाटएवर. बट while also describing that person, आमे एटा भी कहू से ना गोटे बहुत भलो मनीष, ता हार्ट टा भारी सफा, से लोकों को हेल्प करियारे सबुबेले नंबर 1, बुझले. तो these two types of distinctions when you are describing a people is basically, the first type of distinction was tangible asset. Whatever the assets he has that have a physical value, as in तांका घर, जमी, land, house, gold, property, etc. And the second distinction that you describe that person with, that is intangible. That is something that cannot be physically seen. If we look at the definition, tangible investments are physical assets that can be seen, touched and felt. Examples are real estate, machinery and inventory. Tangible investments are often easier to value and they can be used as collateral for loans. Of course, आपण जदि लोन रखिया चाहछन्ती, आपण घर और पेपर्स नहीं कि आपण दबाउ पड़े as collateral. But intangible investments are non-physical assets that have a value because of their intellectual property or potential to generate revenue future. एबे तो मु आपण को मनीष प्रकृति विषय एनालॉजी देली, एटा टिके आ इकोनॉमी रो एक्चुअल डेफिनेशन. Because of their intellectual property or potential to generate future revenue. Examples are patents, trademarks, copyrights, brand recognition. We'll go back to the question, but this is the general definition of tangible and intangible assets. Now let's go back to the question. Number 1, brand recognition. So whenever you go to buy a shoe, go to sportswear shop को अपन जोता किया को जाई चंती, moment you see this, you will know कि एटार प्राइस मिनिमम 4999 ही थी. काहे कि because you recognize this just by the tick mark कि this is Adidas का जूता. या तो कम दाम रे मिलिबो ही नाही, max to max 3999. And then from here the prices start. Same thing, आपण Audi, BMW रो गाड़ी रो से चिन्ह देखी कि जान जेबे कि okay this is Audi, this is BMW. That is brand recognition. And brand recognition is not something that we can physically ascribe a value to. आमे देखु देखु जान जाउचे because आमे जानिचे जे these things are costly by their very nature, by their very name. Hence it's an intangible investment. It cannot be seen, it cannot be felt, it's just a feeling. देखु देखु we know कि भाई एटा होची Adidas रो जोता, बुझले. So this is a correct option. This is intangible. Number 2, inventory. Inventory is physical stock. Again, जदि Adidas रो example नेले या Coca-Cola company रो example नेले या को Tata रो plant रो गोटे example नबा, इन्वेंटरी कौन हेथिबो सेठी गोटे जोता दुकान रे इन्वेंटरी थिबो रबर गोटे कोका कोला दुकान रे इन्वेंटरी थिबो प्लास्टिक मटेरियल या फिर सोडा डिस्पेंसिंग मशीन गोटे कार प्लांट रे इन्वेंटरी थिबो स्टील केते आसला रबर केते आसला टायर कोठी अछि एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा so these things can be seen there is a value ताको हमें टच करि परिया फील करि परिया and hence they are physical stock so they are not intangible they are tangible investments. Intellectual property, like I said, this the trademark or the logo of Adidas is an intellectual property. This you अपन जदि कुआडे जाउचंती and the moment you see this logo you know कि there is a McDonald's around here. You don't need to read कि McDonald's पूरा लिखा है just M देखु देखु you know McDonald's आउची बाबा चलो McDonald's अछि एठी खाइबा. This again is intellectual property. Intellectual property रो how example हे परिबो drawings गोटे again टाटा रो जदि कार कंपनी से कार तैयारी हवा पूर्वरु जो blueprints थाए designs थाए those are the intellectual properties. They still exist on paper. They have a potential for future future revenue. Hence, they are intangible. So this is also an intangible thing. Mailing list of clients. Now, what is mailing list of clients? Whenever you go to a Domino's or a coaching institute or some shop, सेठी आपन को फर्स्ट आजिकली पचार सर आपन को मेल आईडी आपन को नंबर टा देबे ये सर आपन को कांटेक्ट डिटेल्स देबे एंड देन द मोमेंट यू रीच होम यू विल सी तांकर ऑलरेडी या तो 10टा एसएमएस आसी गलानी कि हमर एई प्रोडक्ट नुआ लॉन्च होची या तो 5टा मेल आसी गलानी कि सर हम देखो ए जिनसडा ए आइटम टा हम नुआ लॉन्च करछे प्लीज आसिकी आपन ट्राई करंतु 1 पे 1 फ्री बुझले दैट इज द मेलिंग लिस्ट ऑफ क्लाइंट्स. This again in itself cannot generate revenue. जदि मो पाखे 1000 जन कस्टमर करो ना डेटा अच्छी that is not a guarantee कि my physical sales are going to happen. I'll have to send them mails and SMSs constantly. जदि 1000 लोगों को मु आज मेल पठौची हुए तो काली 10 जन आसीबे. And this again aligns with our definition of intellectual property. Potential for future revenue generation. So this again becomes a intangible investment and hence your answer is only 3. I hope this concept was clear. These are the examples: cash, furniture, plant, machinery, vehicles, building. यार सबुर nature होची physically seen, touched and felt. But these are the intangible assets: brand value, goodwill of a company, customer data, self-developed software जोड़ा तांकर निजे से माने निजो पई यूज करचुंदी ताको मार्केट करना हंती logo, patents, trademark, etc. So now let's move to the next question. Yes, this is the unique feature of this series. I'll also show you कि a question टा अपन solve करी परथांते if you had solved this previous year question. In 2018 there was a question: individual human capital formation as a concept is better explained in terms of a process. दीटा option थिला: accumulation of intangible wealth, accumulation of tangible wealth and intangible wealth. So if you had solved this question while preparing for the UPSC prelims last year, every chance you would have stumbled upon these two words, tangible and intangible, and there's every chance कि gotte cursory reading in the internet or some book would have told you the answer to this particular question which was asked in 2023. Okay, so this is how previous year questions have a direct bearing on what you are going to face this year or the next year in the prelims. Okay, question number 2. Capital market. This is a list of things. Which of the above are again included in the capital market? So again सेठी आपन को intangible and tangible भितरे difference टा जाना हेले ही से question टा आपन attend करि परथांते सेमती ए question रे भी you need to know the difference between You need to know the difference between money market and capital market. In plain and simple terms, again, I'll keep this short. Money market is any investment that has a maturity of less than 365 days or 1 year. This is any investment that has a maturity of greater than 365 days or 1 year. बहुत सारा instruments अच्छी market रे to earn money, to invest money. Whatever instruments have a bearing that can mature in 365 days, less than 365 days, that's money market. More than 365 days is capital market. Now let's go one by one. Government bond market. Government bond market in general are for 5 years to 40 years. And even if you did not have any clue कि एटा capital रे आसिबो या money market रे आसिबो, टिके logic लगेले exam hall रे, you will get to know this. Government bond market is what? Government is asking for money from financial institutions, from high net worth individuals, from corporate houses, jar income runs into thousands of crores. You give us, you lend us some money, we'll invest it. आमे roads तैयारी करिबो, airports तैयारी करिबो, railway tracks तैयारी करिबो, आम logistics sector को आमे improve करिबो, power lines ये आनिबो, solar energy आनिबो, and काली को जेतेबेले we earn some profit, we'll give you some money back, we'll give you your interest back. So can that be done within 1 year? Obviously not. It has to be a time scale of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So even if you did not know what government bond market and capital market relation is, if you just think about it thoda sa, you will get to know ki, okay, this is indeed capital market thing, capital market instrument. Okay. Next, coming to stock market. Again, same thing. Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, एटी सब गोटे गोटे stocks, एशियन पेंट्स हेगला, हिंदुस्तान लिवर हेगला, रिलायंस हेगला, ये सब गोटे गोटे stocks चली आसलानी 1990s रु. These companies went public in the 1990s. आज पर्यंत भी तांकर share is still trading. बहुत growth of course बहुत slow हेगलानी because they are already into the 2000 rupees per share, 2500 rupees per share, some are 5000 rupees per share. They did not get there overnight. They must have spent years at 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 20 rupees, and then etu body aaj se 5000 rupees hechante. So this again, stock market is again where you put your money once now and then it gets compounded. Returns come to you years later, 20 years, 30 years पर से compound interest है कि 10 times, 15 times, 20 times है जैसे पैसा. So this again is a capital market instrument. These two are money market instruments. You'll get to read this when you prepare for the exam. What is money market? What is call money market? What is treasury bill market? मुझे just brief रे बता दूँ छे. Call money market is when one bank calls, when you can picture it, calls another bank. This bank has a shortage of funds, fund shortage. This bank has a fund surplus. So they call them and tell them कि भाई आमर आजी calculation रे error आसुची टिके आम पाखे रे पैसा टिके कम अछि RBI जहाँ सब minimum standards हमको maintain करिया कहिछि through we are falling short by 500 crores or 50 crores or even 5 crores for that matter because RBI keeps checking how much liquid cash is there in every bank and जदि से माने ताको flout कले जदि से norms को they do not obey those norms, they are fined and eventually even their license is cancelled. So they call this bank and say ki we are falling short by 50 crore rupees, you please loan us 50 crore rupees. Once we get that money back, we'll loan you back. So they'll send them immediately. Call money market is 1 day or 14 days. Immediately they give the money to them, and then they'll charge a very nominal rate of interest, 0.5% or 1%. See, any income is income, no? Mu 5 कोटी टका देई कि जदि 1% भी से पाउची, that's still income. So this is the call money market between banks, between financial institutions for 1 day to 14 day periods की गोटे mismatch हला calculation रे. Okay. And the treasury bill market is this government bond market का short term thing. even the government has to maintain its funds, its books. गोटे आमे आज बजेट एस्टिमेट देले काली रेवेन्यू एस्टिमेट्स दबा. Government will also find कि due to some calculation error it is also falling short by 5 crore in its books. माने नाही ता पाखरे से हिसाब नाही से कोठी गोटे स्कीम रे फसी दिबो. That हिसाब will come back after 2 days, but maybe that हिसाब is not there right now. Or they'll also need some short term funding. Not everything has to be infrastructure related long term funding. Government has day to day business where short term funding is required. Salary dispense करियार अछि आता employees मानकर कोठी गोटे land रो कोन issue हेगला कोन हेगला and then liquid cash तांग पाखरे नाही. So इसे माने कोन करिवे से treasury bill market. They'll tap the treasury bill market where 91 days or 364 days 182 days एमतिया सब maturity period रहइबो. You buy the treasury bill or the bond at discounted value. 10,000 rupees ro bond government कहबो तमे 9,900 रे किनो. आमे तमको 10,000 rupees फेरे देबू when it expires, when it matures. Okay, so these are discounted face value coupons. These are very technical terms, you'll get to know them. I just want you to get the idea of capital market and money market. Kali jodi question asila and you haven't read them, or someone asks you and you don't know the details, the least you will be able to tell is this is long term, this is short term, and there are different instruments that are there. Okay, so these two are money market, and hence the answer is only 2. This again is just a recapitulation of what I just told you. Capital market are long term debt or equity backed securities in contrast to a money market where short term debt is sold. Ethi examples money market ro examples hochi treasury bills, commercial papers, repurchase agreements. Apan dhire dhire padhibe what these are. And ethi examples hochi stock market, government bond market. In general corporate bonds and stock market are more risky but offer higher returns. Of course stock market ro risk अछि. 2008 रे जते बेले से Lehman Brothers वाला case हेतला, so the whole stock market crashed. COVID रे the whole stock market crashed. So हुए तो जे सब 10 वर्ष वाला पैसा save करी चलतेले, their money vanished overnight. They again have to wait for some time before the market goes up and their money comes back. So the peculiarities of stock market is not a concern here. I just want to sometimes prelims question ase paribo about what is more risky, what is more safe, etc. Gilt edged bonds kuhanti ame government bonds ko, we say they are gilt edged bonds. Gilt edged bonds mane the best quality of bonds. You can never go wrong by buying government bonds because the government can change, the party at the center can change, but government is here to stay because we are a democracy, and whichever party comes to the center, whatever the previous party had accumulated as debt, this party is bound to pay it back to its customers or to its loanees. So gilt edged bonds, the best kind of bonds. Sometimes even MT abhi directed question ase paribo. The best kind of bonds are government bonds, also known as gilt edged bonds. Again, this question could have been solved if 2010 re you had seen this question. Ki inclusive growth in the 11th 5-year plan does not include 1, 2, 3, but here you have a term called capital market. This was the answer actually. If you had seen this question, capital market, ethi apon capital market padle, the moment you see capital market as an aspirant, it's your job, it's your duty. Eta gote option re pachara hechi mane mu ya upre notes banebi. A notes banela mane this question could have been solved. Out a way this question could have been solved was treasury bills ro mention achi 2018 ro ei question re. RBI, what does it do, what does it not do about state government, central government, you will study this, but treasury bill ethi mentioned achi. So treasury bill bisare you would have read if you have solved this question. Okay, not that you have apun jete bele economic syllabus complete karibe, anyway you will be reading these questions. There might be instances where there are some gaps. These options and these questions help you fill those gaps. Apanko preparation ko pura solidify kar debo if you go through previous year questions. Next question. In the post, okay, this is a assertion reasoning type question. Assertion reasoning माने यार options AI ही था. All assertion reasoning questions will have these kind of options. Statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement 1. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect, statement 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is correct. So you have to find the link between both the statements. આપણને લિંક બહાર કરીએ છે. In the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. Statement 2, central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract rising consumer prices via monetary policy means. Okay, this question is a bit technical. For a beginner, it might be difficult to grasp what is being asked here. So let me just quickly give you the basics of this question. What is monetary policy? So this is how money supply in our economy. This is how money supply in our economy takes place. RBI hochi the Central Bank of India, jaha pakhre power achi to control the money supply in the economy. If it decides to keep the money with itself, that money is not circulating in the Indian economy. Market say money is not getting circulated. If the RBI decides that I'll give the money to the banks, only then the banks will be able to give the money as loans to people, and only then the money will get circulated in the economy. This is the basic concept of money supply, number 1. Number 2, interest rate hikes. What are interest rate hikes? Again, whenever RBI gives money to banks, RBI charges some interest rate. I am giving you 5,000 crore rupees at 6% interest rate, or I am giving you 5,000 crore rupees at 8% interest rate. So our banks take this money and then semane lokon ko loans debe. So this interest rate that RBI charges to banks, also known as repo rate, directly determines what interest rates amo loans ame paibo. If these interest rates are really high, the amo loans ro interest rate bhi bahut high hobo. It's like this, they are the mediators, banks are the mediators. Semane interest rate pay koruchonti 5%. Jodi tanku profit darkar, jodi semane business houses, semane amotu nebe 6%, and that 1% becomes their margin, their profit. And because we are talking about thousands of crores, lakhs of crores, 1% also is a very big amount. It also runs into maybe hundreds or thousands of crores. And then you multiply it with the number of people that are taking the loan, and that is how banks earn their money. Okay. Interest rate high, interest rate बिषय बुझले. एबे interest rate hike केतेवेळ हुए कौन हुए? There are two things: easy money policy, tight money policy. When is easy money policy as a policy measure, when is it undertaken? When there is recession, or in Hindi we say mandi. When the market is down, basically. When the market is down. बिजनेस बंद होगी पड़ी लोक खर्च करना और ऑटोमोबाइल सेल होनी गोल्ड सेल होनी माने इन्वेस्टर सेंटिमेंट इज डाउन दीज आर वेरी नेचुरल मार्केट फोर्सेस दैट आर एट वर्क फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम साइक्लिकल मैनर रे गोटे टाइम आसीबो गोल्ड रो दाम एमती बढ़ी चलिबो जे न कहले भलो गोटे टाइम आसीबो ता दाम एमती खसिबो बिकॉज लोक किछि किणु ही नाहंती सेमती कार सेमती एवरीथिंग प्रॉपर्टी रियल एस्टेट लैंड everything has its own cyclical phase of price boom and price down bust. Okay, so easy money policy is when there is a recession. Once the economy is up and running, then जेतेबेले समस्त को easy money easy money policy रे interest rates are really down. So the RBI will try to induce activity in the economy by giving easy loans, easy money, easy loans. 4% रे नियो इंटरेस्ट रेट तमे 5% रे नियो इंटरेस्ट रेट आमे 8-9% कथा हबानी हम तमे 4% 5% रे लोन्स नियो प्लीज निजो बिजनेस सेटअप करो लोकों को चाकरी दियो लोक चाकरी कले जो पैसा अर्न करिवे से ताकू नै कि आउ कोठी स्पेंड करिवे से जहार जोठी भी से माने ताकू स्पेंड कले तारो भी इनकम होबो एंड दिस इज हाउ एज अ चेन इफेक्ट the economy will start running again. The economy will be the production, the manufacturing, everything will be up again. Cars again sale hobo, land again sale hobo, because that is the concept of GDP. So the government, the RBI cannot sit back if the GDP is not growing. Okay, so easy money is very low interest rates. But गोटे time आसीबो जेतेबेले because of this जिनसर दाम गुड़ा बहुत बढ़िया start होबो. There will be inflationary pressure. Inflationary pressure हेले inflationary pressure काहे की हेला because since everyone has access to easy money so the demand for things go up और demand बढ़ला माने price बढ़िबो the law of demand so this inflationary pressure को control करिया पाई they will again go back to tight money धीरे धीरे 5% को they will take back to 7% they will take back to 8% and this is how लोको कहबे कि नहीं नहीं एबे लोन भाई बहुत अच्छी इंटरेस्ट रेट बहुत हाई अच्छी से कार टा मु नेक्स्ट टाइम किनिबी and because एमतिया डिसीजन 100 जण नेबे से कार रो दाम आपे आपे टिके खसी आसीबो बिकॉज़ लोको किनु नांती डिमांड कमी गला तो कार रो दाम भी खसी जिवो दिस इज जस्ट अ plain rudimentary example you can extrapolate it to gold land everything for everything this is the cycle easy money भलो प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेलो डिमांड बढ़ेलो जिंस अगेन एकदम नॉर्मल को गला मार्केट चलला बट गोटे पॉइंट परे बिकॉज़ too many hands are chasing too few goods there will be inflationary pressure and because inflationary pressure को भी control करियार अच्छी RBI को the RBI goes back to tight money once the money supply is reduced once से माने 7% 8% को नहीं आसीबे आपे आपे demand कमी जिवो and market will be in equilibrium again then after few years again tight money then easy money then again tight money so this is a cycle that goes on in the economy background re. Now in the post pandemic recent past central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes why because during the pandemic era it was post pandemic माने question अच्छी about somewhere around 2023 2022 end विषय okay post pandemic the world banks yes they did increase interest rates because in the during the pandemic era 2020 to 2022 लॉकडाउन जोगु प्रोडक्शन बंद कंपनीज बंद लोक तांको घर तांको जॉब्स लूज करछंती अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ी चलची पॉवर्टी इंक्रीज करी चलची डिस्ट्रेस अलाउंसेस गवर्नमेंट डिस्ट्रेस अलाउंसेस विषय कथा हबा को पड़ची तो के दिन गवर्नमेंट लोकों को कैश अलाउंसेस दे की पाली परिबो हबनी तो सेते बेले कोन करथिला आरबीआई और इनफैक्ट द सेंट्रल बैंक्स अराउंड द वर्ल्ड इंटरेस्ट रेट्स कमे देथिले इजी मनी सेम जहाँ मुझे बुझेली now because एते बेले easy money was available again दी वर्ष रे the economy एमती जोड़ा economy हमर एमती crash करथुला economy हटात एमती उठिला ये आकु V shaped recovery भी कुहा जाए our Indian economy was functioning something like this 2018 रो 2019 2020 and जेते बेले covid आसिला the economy crashed like this because there is no generation of money being made so what did they do they came up with easy money this is how we recovered by end of 2023 there was a V-shaped recovery. Why? Because लोगों को पाखे पैसा was easily accessible thila. Everything, all these schemes that Atmanirbhar Bharat and all those package schemes, it was designed कि low interest rate रे पैसा नहीं हो business start करो पुनी भाई जमा किछि ही नहीं कोविड हेगला कोई बात नहीं तमे तम business आउथरे start करि पारिबो. So जेतबेले 2023-24 आसिला again because easy money policy thila, so inflationary pressure को control करियार अछि, so they increase the interest rates. This is why interest rate was increased. Okay, tight money policy पुनी करा हैला and again inflation को control करा हैला. Statement 2, this is correct. This is very general statement. Assume that they have the ability to counteract raising consumer prices via monetary policy means. Yes, this is true. And because they know that they have the ability, they did this. So statement 1 explains, statement 2 explains statement 1. I hope I was clear. This is also new to me, so be patient with me. Mu emti concepts ko, complicated concepts ko, I'll try and break it down to as simple level as possible. If kichi explanation nathila, whatever there was explanation, I just tried to explain you. This is just, I've just written the same statement again. Okay. This again is a thoda sa complicated concept. What is sterilization pacharchi? Sterilization pacharchi. And to understand this, again you have to know some basics of what is appreciation of rupee, what is depreciation of rupee. So again I'll try to cover it in as simple language as possible so that you will get an idea ki edi hauchi kon, what can be the option and what's the answer. See, land, real estate. Okay, there is something called appreciation. There is something called depreciation. In a long-term scale, land value always appreciates. आमे आम पेरेंट्स को शुणी दिबा कथा हबा आमे 20 लाख रे या 30 लाख रे इवन 5 लाख रे 1 लाख रे ए जमीटा किनी रखी दबा 10 वर्ष परे ता दाम 10 लाख टका हे जिवो. दैट इज नथिंग बट एप्रिसिएशन. लॉन्ग टर्म रे एवरीथिंग हैज टू अप्रिशिएट, दैट्स द लॉ ऑफ इकोनॉमी. शॉर्ट टर्म रे समटाइम्स बिकॉज ऑफ मार्केट क्रैश like COVID, like some unforeseen forces, sometimes what can happen is the value can depreciate. जोड़ा आज 10 लाख टका रे अच्छी हुए तो से जमी काली जने 8 लाख टका रे भी बिकिया को स्टार्ट ही जिवो बिकॉज़ तार बिकिया को राजी ही जिवो बिकॉज़ तार मे बी सेमती अकाउंट कंडीशन हैला या से डरू छी कि मे बी द लैंड प्राइसेस माइट नॉट रिकवर इन द नियर फ्यूचर बट आई नीड मनी फॉर माय चिल्ड्रंस एजुकेशन और माय father's treatment or something like that, so I'll just sell it for whatever I can get. So at that time it can depreciate. Okay, ठीक सेमती जेमती objects are appreciating and depreciating, money, or to be specific, rupee can also appreciate or depreciate. आपण सुनी थिबे पढ़ी थिबे न्यूज़पेपर रे rupee hits an all-time low of 83 rupees per dollar, and the other headline is some 6 months later maybe rupee strengthens to rupees 70 per dollar. So 83 rupees per dollar जेतेले हे गेला आमे कहूछु depreciate करि गेला, weaken हे गेला. 70 rupees per dollar जेतेले हे जाउची आमे कहूची strengthen करि गेला, strong appreciate करि गेला. What's the logic? What's एथि माने होची कोन? Why it is so counter intuitive? लैंड आमे कहूँ 5 लाख थिला 10 लाख हे गला, इट्स अप्रिशिएटिंग, बट रुपी 70 पर डॉलर सॉरी 75 पर डॉलर थिला 70 per dollar हेगला आमे कहूँ appreciate, 83 per dollar हेगला आमे कहूँ depreciate. I don't know if you understand this intuitively. If you understand it intuitively, very good. आपण माने ठीक अछि. But जेतेबेले मु start करथिली मो पढ़ा, I was not sure कि एठी चालची कोन. So if some of you have that confusion, just गोटे simple logic रे बुझौछि, आपण हुए तो बुझि जाय पारंते. $1 एठी अछि, US रो $1 एठी अछि. ₹75 एठी अछि. Okay. जेतेबेले Indian rupee starts going this way, it is appreciating or strengthening. When it starts moving this way, it is depreciating or weakening. Okay. Why this is appreciating? Because the moment Indian rupee is being counted as equal to or something near $1, tamane India ro status is increasing. Tamane more and more countries are using rupees as a medium of exchange, as a currency. So we are saying कि Indian rupees is strengthening because आमे US रो super power भलिया country पाखु को माड़ी चलचे. Okay. But if it is going this side, rupees 85, okay, तो गोटे US citizen जेडी इंडिया को आसुची ताकू बुलाबुली करियार अछि, से $1 देला, से $100 देला बैंक रे, बैंक ताकू 6 months आगुरु 7500 rupees देथिला, से गोटे जाबी से किनिला रहिला वापस पळेला, 6 months ପରେ जेतेबेले आसला ताकू बैंक 8500 rupees दे देला. What will be the reaction of that person? That person will be like, अरे rupee has weakened, आमको बेसी टंगा मिली गला, चलो एथरो तो आमे आउरी भलसे माने आउरी बेसी जिंस करि परिया, गोटे दिन एक्स्ट्रा रहि जाय परिया और व्हाटएवर. सो एठी यांको पई भलो हैला, आमो पई खराब हैला. Why? Because rupee is going away from the US dollar as a from US as a country, as a superpower. So this was the simple logic that एमती जदि आपण मन रखिबे आपण भूलिबेनी. So this is why I told you. There are other, of course, there are more academic reasons of what is happening here. But as an aspirant, you don't need to go into those academic reasons. You simply have to understand what is appreciating, what is depreciating. Okay. If this is clear to you, that sterilization, if this is clear to you, you also understand law of supply and demand. एबे जहाँ हमें कथा हेले, supply कले money supply हेले कौन होची, money supply जेतेले RBI टाणनो होची कौन होची, etc etc. Supply of anything and demand of anything. When demand is high, price will appreciate, right? Price will increase, price will appreciate. And when supply is increased, the price comes down. Again, this is आपण एटा बुझी पाउछन ना बुझनांदी मते कोंतु. 100 cars, 100 people. X amount. Okay, X amount per car, no problem. But 200 people and same 100 cars, demand is increased. What will happen? X will increase. Okay. Now to control this situation, what the government will say? Supply बढ़ाओ. इन 100 लोगों को भी कार चाहिए. So they will increase their supply to 200 cars. And the moment they increase the supply to 200 cars, ता दाम पुनी धीरे धीरे will come down. X will again start decreasing. This law and supply, this supply and demand law is clear, right? Now come to this question. With this understanding, come to this question. What is sterilization? Answer is conducting open market operations. But sterilization होता क्या है? जेतेबेले आमे FDI, जेतेबेले US companies India रे FDI आनी की आसुचंती, dollars they'll bring to our country. Okay, India को dollars आसीबो. when they bring dollars, the demand for rupee will increase. Why? Because for jodi tanku office tiyari kariyar achi, tanku employees ko salary pay kariyar achi, contracts pai government sangre negotiate kariyar achi, all these things have to be carried out in rupees. ସେମାନେ ଏଠିକି ଆସିକି ତ ତାଙ୍କ employees କୁ dollars ଦେବେନି, has to be carried out in rupees. So if they are bringing $100 million worth of investment, ता माने they are asking कि $100 million banks को दौचंदी and banks को कहउचंदी हमको एतिकी worth rupee दियो, right? Which means demand for rupee is increasing. If demand for rupee is increasing, rupee's price will appreciate. जहाँ जहाँ पे लॉजिक लगे छे से ही हमें एथी कथा होचे. And if rupees price is appreciating, तामाने it's going in this direction. 70 rupees, 69 rupees, 68 rupees. Now you might intuitively think कि अरे ये तो बढ़िया है, हमें तो सुपर पावर पाखु को जाऊचे because rupee is being more accepted in more in demand. But that is not so simple, because exporters are selling their commodities to country X, and this country X is doing payment in dollars because US dollar is the universal or is generally accepted as the currency of exchange. Okay, so a exporters जेतेबेले निज घर पई निज पेट ये पोसिया पई जेतेबेले ए डॉलर्स को कन्वर्ट करिया को अगेन बैंक पाखु जीवो, सो बैंक्स कोन कहबे कि हां नियो 70 rupees नियो पर डॉलर. If the rupee is appreciating, काली को बैंक कहबो 69 rupees नियो पर डॉलर. तो सी यदि 100 डॉलर आनथिला काली 7000 टका पाइला, आज 6900 rupees पाइबो. जदि आउरी स्ट्रेंथन ही चलची 65 पाखु पड़ेला, सीए 6500 टका पाइबो. Is it good for him? Because तार तो पैसा रो वैल्यू कमी कमी चलची ना. So it's not good for the exporters if the currency movement is this side. Okay, so to control this, what RBI does, ए बिजा कहली RBI banks को money banks to bonds किनिबो वापस, जहाँ भी banks पाखे bond अच्छी banks को RBI किनिबो, bonds को RBI किनिबो, and in return they'll give rupees to some amount of money to banks. These banks will again circulate that money in the whole Indian economy, जोटी के आपण मो भलिया लोक अछंती. So supply बढ़ेले, price was decreasing, the price was again coming under control. So the moment this money supply increases, जो appreciation जो rate रे ही चलथिला, that becomes controlled. एठी की जो जाउथिला एठी के जीवनी एट रहि जीव, धीरे 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 मे बी आउ टिके पछु को भी पड़ेबो, but गोटे balance again maintain हे जीवो कि okay 75 is the place where we want to be. So this is how money supply, this process is known as sterilization. RBI is stepping in to control the appreciation or in other case depreciation of money. यार उल्टा भी हे परिबो. US वाला कहउचंदी आमे FDI नबुनी, आमे टाणी नबा, आमे आम डॉलर्स रो वैल्यू, आमे डॉलर्स जा इन्वेस्ट करछे, we will just pull it back because we want to invest it somewhere else. Some other country is giving us this % returns, you are not giving us returns, so we will suck that money out of your country. In that case, since the demand has decreased, rupees will start traveling this side. So RBI कौन करिवो, से again आंको bonds दे दबो and आंगो to rupees नहीं जीवो, तो money supply कमे दबो. The moment money supply again कमे देला, जहाँ एठी depreciate हे चलथिला, that depreciation will stop somewhere here, and again it will come to again that 75 to 83 equilibrium. Complex concept, but the underlying theory in it is very interesting. If you got it, thank you. अगर थोड़ा नहीं समझ आया तो I hope that I'll be able to explain it to you in some other video. Okay. Conducting open market operations. Sterilization is an action taken by the central bank to counterbalance the effects of foreign exchange interventions and domestic money supply inflation. Open market operations are one of the tools used by RBI for sterilization. When the RBI buys government securities, it injects liquidity into the economy, while when it sells these securities, it absorbs liquidity from the economy. Whatever I just told you, just an English translation of that. This could have been solved if 2013 ro a question open market operation direct question thila. In the context of Indian economy, what is India open market operations? Okay. 2022 रे भी पचार थिला कि if the inflation is too high, the RBI is likely to buy government securities. If the rupee is rapidly depreciating, एबे जहाँ जहाँ आपण को मु concepts बुझेली, RBI is likely to sell dollars in the market. So एई सब जिनसर direct application was this particular question which was asked in 2023. And if you had solved these questions, previous year questions solved कला you could have easily able to solve that question. This is a very easy question basically, but ticket factual in the sense you have to know what is INVIT. Short रे बतई दोची. INVITs are nothing but it would these are INVITs. There is a sponsor, got a successful company, okay, even government company like NHAI or a private company like Adani. CA जेहेतु तार track record भलो, जेहेतु तांको track record भलो, what they'll do, obviously every business house रो dream होची profits बढ़ाओ, जहाँ profits असला ताको आउ कोठी reinvest करो and से through आओ you money makes money, पैसा पैसा को बनाता है, that is their bottom line. So what they'll do, आमर एई वर्ष आमे as a single company maybe we are not getting that much investment, so we'll pitch this idea to some other investors. These investors will pool their money into a trust, which is this investment in infrastructure investment trusts. Okay, they'll pool their money, they'll put their money, this money is invested in infrastructure assets. आरो हमें सोलर पार्क्स बनेबा, ट्रांसमिशन लाइन्स ये करिबा, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिकिबा, से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जहाँ भी हमें इवेंचुअली 20 years 30 years डाउन द लाइन जहाँ भी विल जहाँ भी प्रॉफिट होगा हमारा विल गिव यू बैक एज इंटरेस्ट एंड डिविडेंड. ओके, अगेन एक क्वेश्चन रे पचार थिला कोन से आपन कंफ्यूज करियो कि चेष्टा करछि क्वेश्चन रे बेसिकली इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट थ्रू जो इन्वेस्टर्स को जो इंटरेस्ट मिलुची, इंटरेस्ट इनकम फ्रॉम द डिपॉजिट्स इन इनविट्स इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड to their investors is exempted from tax, but the dividend is taxable. This they are trying to play a game with your mind. And statement 2 is they are recognized as borrowers under, this is a statutory act called SARFAESI Act. It's the right statement. एटार तो किसी concept नहीं, एटा तो अपन पढ़ी थिले ही solve करि परिबे. Okay, but this thing एथि केमती इट्रे आपन को खेलियाउ चेष्टा करछि देखुन. Exempted from, why interest income is exempted but dividend is taxable? Why will that be the case? Does interest and dividend रे difference ठीक अछि, by the way of their nature they are different, but it's basically one and the same thing. Dividend भी profits, interest भी profit. Profit ऊपरे tax लगेबा government रा almost अधिकार. That is what corporate tax is. That is what capital long term capital gains tax is. कि you cannot eat your profit alone. Government will say आमुको भी पैसा दरकार because we have to serve people. तो there is no way interest ऊपर tax exempt है परिवो. If you think about it another way, they are all 1000 crores वाला people, 1000 crores 1 lakh crores वाला people. यदि तांकर interest income और dividend आसुची से भी crores रे आस्तबो. Crores ऊपर tax के बे government avoid ignore कर ही परिबनी. They cannot let that happen with the lower class people of a country. Lower class people need the help of upper class people of the country, and taxes is the way to do that. So that they cannot let that opportunity go. So this is a wrong statement, this is a right statement. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Answer is option C. Okay. Just likha ichi, both the dividend and the interest are taxed. I'm not going into the details. You can just pause the screen and read it. This is the diagram that I explained. Okay. In the context of finance, the term beta refers to, again, is a very simple question. You just had to be aware of this term beta. Company, if you have interest, if you have seen how stock market works, stock market re Bombay stock exchange विषय कथा होचे, how BSE Sensex has improved over the years. Okay, 1986 से start हेतला. Just go to Google search कर देबे Sensex, Google search कर देबे. The first picture that will be there is something like this. Okay, what is this? These are points, these are numerical values. 1986 रे 0 to start हेतिबो, आज somewhere around 73,000 को पहुंचलेनी. This again tells you that in the last 30 odd years, the market has grown by this much amount. 73,000 is not the number of times it has grown, or no. It is an average value that shows ki year on year, Indian stock market re market capitalization value is increasing. Okay. So, with this understanding, the beta is a numerical value, yes, this, D. A numerical value that measures the fluctuations of a stock to changes in the overall stock market. So, जदि 2020 रे गोटे stock public हैला, 2021 रे आमे देखिले, धरन्तु तार आसिला 10% return. Okay, तारो 10% return आसिला या 10% growth हैला. In the meantime, the Sensex has increased by 11%. So what we are basically saying is that the beta is less than 1. Tamane, this is less risky than the overall market. Okay, but gote out stock, some other company stock has grown by 15%. So beta is greater than 1. Overall market has grown by 11%, but this particular stock has grown by 15%. Overall market is obviously average. तो average तो कम ही होगा, but गोटे गोटे ता भितरु एमती थिबे 15% देखेबे या फिर 16% देखेबे, which tells us that they are more risky. If beta is greater than 1, it is more risky. तामाने आज ही अच्छी काली न थाई पारे. And beta less than 1, it is less risky. तमे returns टिके कम पाइबो, किंतु you can safely say कि okay, this company is here to stay. So this is what beta does. It's a numerical value that measures the fluctuations of a stock to changes in the overall stock market. Okay. Exactly से लिखा है, measures the volatility of a stock relative to the overall market. Relative to the overall market. जोटा है बतेली. Beta of 1 indicates that the stock's price tends to move in line with the market, while a beta greater than 1 indicates higher volatility or risky. Beta less than 1 indicates lower volatility. Same thing, out term अच्छी alpha. ये जो risk, this was a tool that helped us identify the risk. This is a tool that helps us identify the returns, the income. So maybe some other year, 5 years down the line, they'll ask, what does alpha mean? Alpha is the excess return of a stock compared to its expected return based on its beta. Okay. Nuhe, question directly related nuhe, but I just thought I'll include it in the explanation. Imtiya questions generally pacharandi semane. The terms marginal standing facility rate and net demand and time liabilities are sometimes appearing in the news. What is their relation? They are related to what? The term domestic content requirement is sometimes seen in the news with reference to what? So amar eti question kon thila? In the context of finance, the term beta refers to. So a working knowledge of these terms, the newspaper daily bhi padhuchandi na, you will get to answer this question very easily. Okay. Consider the following. Consider the following. Parameters diya hai. For the horizontal tax devolution, the 15th Finance Commission used how many of the above as criteria other than population, area and income distance? So, तीनटा criteria आपको दे दीजिए. Population, area and income distance. There are 3 criteria given. से पचारुछि आउ आंक भितर कोन थिला? Factual question. एथरे concept बस एति कि आपनको बुझियार अछि. What is horizontal tax devolution? First, you understand what is vertical tax devolution. किछि बेसी नुहे. Central government, state government, panchayats. This is vertical tax distribution. But state number 1, state number 2, state number 3. States को भितरे पैसा डा हमें केमती divide करिबा. That is horizontal tax distribution. आर आंसर देखिए दोचे आपन को. गोटिए तो एठी रेड फ्लैग फर्स्ट हैला. Does this option make any sense? आजिकल तो अपन जानछथि कंट्री रे होछि कोन. Any party that comes to power has a chance ki next 2 years रे that party can fall if horse trading occurs. तामुने कि resort रे बसे दोचंदी किने नोचंदी MLA बिका बिकी हे जाउचंदी. At that politics that we don't want to get into. Can stable government be one of the criteria for fiscal devolution? It cannot be. So you already know one option does not make sense. Okay. The other 3 might make sense, other 4 might make sense, but sethere bhi this is very generalistic. Governance reform. It cannot be such a generalistic. Our sabura demographic performance, forest and ecology, tax and fiscal efforts, population, area, income distance. ये very specific. They literally want कि हमें एया improvements चाहूँचु जेते तो मैं यही सब matters रे improve करी चलला. हमें तमको सेति की devolution दबु. Horizontal tax devolution will be more. Okay, but governance reform. Governance consists of so many aspects. Can governance reform, such a generalized statement, be a factor? I don't know how much sense it makes to you, but it doesn't make any sense to me. तो मुझे जानी भी न था थी, I would have marked this option and this option wrong. Okay, and the answer would be only 3. These are the actual things. 14th रे एया थिला. 14th रे एया थिला. 15th रे these are the things. 14th पर्यंत 1971 रे population use होतला. 15 to 2011 हमें consider करूचे. Area, forest and ecology, income distance, tax, physical efforts, demographic performance. These are the 5. So this is again a factual question, but se through gotte to eliminate easily hothala, which was stable government. The other one pai maybe you needed to have some sort of information. Okay. Okay, this is a hot topic right now. I beg your pardon. Central bank digital currencies. Because of all the nuisance created in the market by all these cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin hai gala, and all those Doge coins hai gale. All the central banks in the world, they are coming up with their own digital currencies. We don't want people to gamble their money away in all these cryptocurrencies. Jaro aji jodi dam 7 lakh per cryptocurrency or 70 crore per, I don't know what's the actual value. Suppose, but it's so unstable. One day the value goes down to 3 lakh. The next day it goes down to 50,000. So if someone has invested their career savings into this Bitcoin जैसा unstable thing, ठीक अच्छी, for one person it's okay, maybe it was his decision and he did not take the right decision. But if thousands of people start doing this, if lakhs of people start doing this, then a country will run into turmoil, because ratarati money will vanish from the banking system, from people's pockets, and then government will find it difficult to manage the economy. Hence, central banks are coming up with their own digital currencies ki we will regulate them and we will allow tome online money ye kariya chahocho to own kariya chahocho to you do this, you own this kind of money. What are central bank digital currencies? एबे आसुची धीरे धीरे ताको RBI एबे as a pilot project, as a gote particular project, it has already started applying. Au kichhi din re you and I will also have access to central bank digital currencies. They are nothing. See, the money you have, तार एठी गोटे बैंक रे खाता अछि, एटी ATMs अछंती, एंड एठी आपन पाखे किछ पैसा अछि, धरंतु ₹1000, एठी ₹1000 अछि, आपन बैंक रे अछि ₹5000, तो total money आपन पाखे 6000. Whenever you need extra money, you go to the ATM, you transact that cash. 1000 एठी देखे अपन 1000 withdraw कले, एठी 4000 हे गेला, या एठी अपन 2000 ये कले, एठी 5000, एठी 3000 हे गेला. Okay, this is how normal currencies work. आमे जहा एबे करूचे real world रे, एटा कोन हबो, this will be a different account of yours and this money will only be digital. एठी भी ₹5000 रहइबो, but this will have no bearing on your savings account in your bank. एठी रुपीस जो 5000 अछि, that is liquid. एबे गले ATM रु बाहर कले पैसा आपन पाखे रे, but this will always be available on the internet in your account with the RBI, not with the bank. This is what central bank digital currency is. You cannot withdraw it. This only can be used for online transactions. आपण ताको withdraw करियार किछि माने option ही नाही. Yes, you can transfer this money from here to here and then you can withdraw money from here. That can be done. But एई money को physically withdraw करिया पे एई money रो किछि ये नाही. Okay. You can also transfer your money from here to here. That can be also done. But this is a digital currency only. This is not paper currency. This is transactable. This is fiat currency of the country. You can do it. And now let's read the options. It is possible to make payments in a digital currency without using US dollar or SWIFT system. This is correct. Without using US dollar and or SWIFT system. काहेकि हमें कोचे generally in rupee हमें कौन कोचे, हमें जदि दीटा governments भितर exchange होची, दीटा traders को भितर exchange होची, the trader is buying the good and the buyer is giving him the dollars, जोटा कि trader जाएंगी market again bank रू exchange करूची. एबे हमें जहाँ विषय कथा होतले. But जदि digital currency रहिला, ता पाखरे जो निजरो digital currency अछि trader रो या फिर buyer रो, से digital currency को ही direct transfer करि पार दे पारिबो ता ये को जे भी से जागो से बिकिला. So US dollars को से bypass करि पारिबो. It is possible to make payments in a digital currency without using US dollar. SWIFT system is again an international, it's like a WhatsApp of international transactions. SWIFT रे सब जागो messages जाए कि एति की टंकार transaction हैला. SWIFT in itself किसी bank नुहे किसी ये नुहे, just an organization that makes sure कि encrypted messages are being transferred कि एठू एति की टंका एबे US dollar exchange हैला and एति की टंकार गोटे transaction हैला. So you do not need these systems for this currency. It is definitely correct. A digital currency can be distributed with a condition programmed into it, such as a time frame for spending it. For example, what they can do is, तम पाखे जो 5000 अच्छी, this 5000 is logged. Okay, you cannot spend it anywhere else except, for example, education of your child. Or institutional delivery of during a pregnancy. This money can be programmed. Savings account रे जने पैसा केमिति यूज करूची पूरा ता ऊपर. किंतु जदि गवर्नमेंट किसी पॉजिटिव चेंजेस आने चाहूची, बेले बेले कौन हुए ये जो सब स्कीम्स अच्छे आमर एत सारा सोशल सेक्टर स्कीम्स बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ होगला जननी सुरक्षा योजना होगला all this what they'll do they'll ask for money under the allowance under those schemes देख से कहबे कि मु मो छुआ को पढ़िया को नौची या मो स्त्री रो इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरी करिया को नौची बट इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरी हबनी इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिलीवरी से माने छुआर डिलीवरी घरे ही हबो से पैसा को नहीं कि मे बी छुआर को बाहा करी डाउरी रे यूज कर देबे या से पैसा नहीं कि मद पी देबे या खाई देबे बिरयानी खाई देबे किछ न कले ताको माने वेस्ट करिवे बेसिकली वेस्टफुल एक्सपेंडिचर दे डोंट कम क्लीन बट इफ आरबीआई डिसाइड्स कि ठीक अछि विल गिव यू मनी द गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड्स ठीक अछि तुमको पैसा दरकार ना ई स्कीम अंडर रे नियो किंतु एई 5000 टका लॉक हैला एई 5000 टका तमे सेति बेले स्पेंड करि पारिबो जेते बेले तमे हॉस्पिटल जाई कि बिल पे करिया चेष्टा करछो से सेठी हॉस्पिटल विल आस्क यू आपन को सेंट्रल बैंक डिजिटल करेंसी अछि से अकाउंट रे आपन अवेल करि पारिबो जेमति आम पाखरे कूपन्स थाए जेमति आम पाखरे वाउचर्स थाए सेमति दिस विल एक्ट एज अ वाउचर नियो 5000 टका मो पाखे सीबीडीसी अछि जोटा मु खाली एठी यूज करि पारिबी ताको आमु वेस्ट करि पारिबेनी सो इट कैन बी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड विथ अ कंडीशन प्रोग्राम्ड इनटू it such as a time frame for spending it ha so this has to be spent in the next 6 months तम झियर एबे क्लास 12 पास हैला नेक्स्ट 6 मास भितरे तमे जदी ताको कॉलेज पठेया चाहूछ गवर्नमेंट अलाउंस देला नियो लक्षे टका गवर्नमेंट देला किंतु 6 मास भितरे लक्षे टका खर्च होबा कथा नले आमे आ जाडनु तमे झियो केमति पाठ पढेबो सो तसीता झियर एडमिशन करिया को बाध्य अदरवाइज दैट 1 लाख रुपीस गॉन they cannot waste it they cannot transact it they cannot waste it okay so this both the statements are correct digital form of a paper currency unlike cryptocurrencies that operate in a regulatory vacuum same as the fiat currency and is exchangeable one to one with the currency it is an electronic version of cash it will primarily meant for retail transactions just pause it and read it just what I told you okay so that finishes the Indian economy section of 2023 how ketata indirect question achi which generally which I would say belong to the agriculture part or some other part of not to the core economy Indian economy conceptual part taku mu au gote topic रे deal karibi let's now move to the Indian polity questions okay from here on I'll show you the importance of not only reading Lakshmikant but also why you need to read the Constitution of India okay just be with me which one of the following statements best reflects the chief purpose of the constitution of a country when you read these options you'll feel like every option is correct determines the objective for making of necessary laws yes am DPSP re se कहउचंदी कि for social justice तमे DPSPs को जेमती हेले enact करिया को चेष्टा करिवो correct enables the creation of political offices under government yes पूरा union part 3 I think is union नहीं part 5 is union part 6 is state okay yes political offices in government president governor prime minister council of minister समस्त पई provisions अछि constitution रे secure social justice social equality and social security yes जोडा एठी मु कहली आपन को this is also right this is also right this is also right सेत पई एठी मतलब chief को से bold करछि what is the chief purpose of a constitution of a country ये सबु आर purpose no doubt about it what is the chief purpose is it defines the terms and limits the power of a government the government cannot say कि मु निजो को unlimited power दे देली मु constitution amend कर देली and now the prime minister is going to stay here forever or now there will be no re-elections in the 5 years there will be re-election in 10 years or 15 years or 20 years जोड़ा बे चाइना रे अछि they have removed the 2-term limit for the president so their president Xi Jinping can remain basically is now president for life that is not what constitution was meant for constitution ro main purpose हला defines and limits the power of government गवर्नमेंट आसिकी हमको एमती राताराती अरेस्ट करि परिबनी अच्छी national security laws अच्छी where they can arrest but they still have to go to the court and tell them this is why we arrested them and the court will decide if the government did right or not so arbitrary arrest हे परिबनी right to life right against arrest right against willful detention preventive detention all those things Constitutionalism is the principle that government can and should be legally limited in its powers. This concept ensures that no part of the government has complete control or power, and it seeks to protect the fundamental rights and freedoms of individuals by imposing constraints and checks on the powers of authorities. You can read the rest of the part. And this question was a direct repetition of 2021. Constitutional government means a government limited by the terms of the constitution. Direct, pura repeat. Jodi apan kari thande 2021 question paper +2 easy +2. Maybe that's the difference between a bus cut off 75 jaitla. Maybe if you had solved this question, apan go 75.33 rahi jaitha. Mane mu kochi each question counts, right? So this is why PYQs are important. And you would have written the mains, and who knows, you would have cracked the exam. Now herein comes the importance of constitution and reading bare act. Taku bare act bhi kuha jaye constitution ko. If the election of the president of India is declared void by the Supreme Court of India, declared void mane declared illegal, declared ki na eta he pariboni, re-elections kara. Supreme Court of India, all acts done by him or her in the performance of duties of his as office of the president before the date of the decision becomes invalid. See, jaha karthila ta office ko asiya pore becomes invalid. Can this happen? Dekho, ya mane kon? One date re president gets elected, case challa, someone filed a petition in Supreme Court ki this is an illegal ye. कि एटा हे परिबने केस चलला तो अपरे सांग सांग तो सब आम कंट्री डिसाइड हुए नहीं गोटे फ्यूचर डेट 6 मास परे तारो जजमेंट आसला सुप्रीम कोर्ट कहला ओके करेक्ट हिज decisions the way the election was conducted is malified, there is something wrong with it. Okay, does that mean ए 6 months रे से जा जा करिथिले जा जा बिल्स पास हेतला जोड जोडी साइन मारथिले ये सब इनवैलिड हिजो? नो. लॉजिक अगेन कॉन्सेप्ट एथरे किछि घोसियार नाही लॉजिक एमती हेई परिबनी आ एटा लेखा कोडी हिची आर्टिकल नंबर 71 देखो मु डायरेक्ट स्क्रीनशॉट नहीं कि आछि बेयर एक्ट रो टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ रीडिंग द बेयर एक्ट इज फन एंड एट द सेम टाइम डायरेक्टली रेलेवेंट टू द एग्जाम. If the election of a person as a president or vice president is declared void by the Supreme Court, acts done by him in the exercise and performance of the powers shall not be invalidated by the reason of that declaration. Direct constitutional lekha hai. Okay. So this is wrong. Election for the post of the president of India can be postponed on the ground that some legislative assemblies have been dissolved and elections are yet to take place. How is the president of India elected? He is elected by indirect elections. सब elected representatives, सब MLAs, elected MLAs, not nominated MLAs, and elected MPs, they both vote in a very indirect manner. सब तांकर weightage अच्छी केते कार vote रो weightage, you will read the आगु तार ओटे question हमें deal करिबा. तो से कहूची कि election for the post of president can be postponed on the ground that some legislative assemblies have been dissolved and elections are yet to take place. ता माने जदि 24 January रे presidential elections are due, because the previous president has completed a period of 5 years, and at the same time in some 2 states or some 4 states Sarkar is not running, there is constitutional emergency, president's rule is going on, or some collapse, there is because of that horse trading the government has collapsed, they have failed the floor test, governor koichi there can be no government. Okay, will this lead to postponement of the election? No. Okay, and this is also written. Election of a person shall not be called into question on the ground of the existence of any vacancy for whatever reason among the members of the electoral challenge electing him. Okay. When a bill is present to the President of the Constitution, the Constitution prescribes time limit within which he/she has to declare his assent. No, this is also wrong. There is no time limit, and this is where all the veto powers come in. You'll read about them. Pocket veto, suspensive veto, or what are veto powers and how they can literally just keep it in their pocket and not respond to it. Okay, there is no time limit or none. Consider the following organizations. चार्टा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रो ना दिया है NCBC, NHRC, Law Commission, Consumer Right Redressal Commission. You have to tell which of them are constitutional bodies. Very simple question. NCBC is the only one here which is a constitutional body. ये आगुरु statutory body थिला, but 101st amendment रे ताकु change करी की article 336 को नहीं की जाई चंती I think. एबे देखी दबा तार answer टा. 338, sorry, my bad. The National Commission for Backward Classes is a constitutional body established through constitutional amendment, 102nd Amendment Act, 338, Article 338B of the Indian Constitution. All the others are either executive or statutory bodies. Mane either government sets them, like the Law Commission. Law Commission is set up by the government, जे भी power रे अछि from time to time. 5 years रो तमे review करो कौन है ची कौन नहीं and कुआ हमको को law रे amendment दरकार या को law needs to change or if it remains to if it needs to remain the same. Okay, so Law Commission is a executive body. NHRC again is a Human Rights Act under it, it's a statutory body. National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission is Consumer Protection Act of 1986. So again it is a statutory body. Very simple question. आपण मते comment section रे बतांतु RBI, SEBI, UPSC, OPSC and CAG. How many of these RBI, SEBI, UPSC, OPSC and CAG, how many of these are constitutional bodies? If you can comment it and tell me, I'll be really grateful. Thank you. With reference to financial bill and money bill in the Indian Parliament, consider the following statements. First, बुझो the difference between finance bill and financial bill. Financial bill जोटा सेटा out it's explicitly mentioned in Article 117. Article 117 re there is a mention special provisions related to financial bills. Okay, तो एटी पुनी finance bill ताले कौन? Finance bill is the bill where जोटा हमें सबवेले budget रे government introduce करे in Lok Sabha, and since it is related to matters of taxation, it is also money bill. एटा भी आगु मु देखे भी. What is finance bill? What is money bill? So there are two types of finance bills. One is a financial bill, जोटा कि Article 117 रे clearly mentioned. सेटा राज्य सभा भी आनी परिबो, लोक सभा भी आनी परिबो. और जेतेल जाए दीटा हाउस रे पास नहीं जाइची, सेतेल जाए you cannot go ahead with that bill. But finance bill, since it is a money bill, is exclusively the prerogative of the lower house of the Indian Parliament, the Lok Sabha. Let's read about this. Definition of money bills. For the purposes of this chapter, a bill shall be deemed to be a money bill if it contains provisions related to imposition, abolition, remission, alteration or of regulation of any tax. सबु वर्ष बजेट बेले जो फेब्रुआरी जो बजेट गवर्नमेंट प्रेजेंट करे एया ही तो लोकंकर नजर थाए ना टैक्स केते बढ़ला टैक्स केते कमिला पान मसला ऊपर टैक्स बढ़ला ड्रेस ऊपर टैक्स बढ़ला कार ऊपर टैक्स बढ़ला ना सिगरेट ऊपर टैक्स बढ़ला everyone is watching with enthusiasm the tax rates. So anything that is related to tax is a money bill, shall be deemed as a money bill. Okay. and money bill related provision hochi, it shall not be introduced in the Council of States, which is Rajya Sabha. Kahinki? What's the logic? Because Lok Sabha ko is where we are sending our representatives. एबे जो elections आसुची, आमे vote करिबा तांको पई. लोक सभा से माने लोक सभा रे जाई आम MP हेबे, आम constituency रो MP हेबे, and they'll represent us. So since they are our direct representatives, everything related to money has to be their prerogative. Council of States जे सब आसुचंदी MP माने से माने समस्ते indirectly elect हेकी आसुचंती तांकर MLAs मानक थ्रू, but लोक सभा रे जो माने सब जाउचंती से माने आमे तांको elect करिकी पठौचे. Hence finance is totally their purview, is under their purview. Or say it by constitution, it makes clear कि after a money bill has been passed by the House of the People, which is the Lok Sabha, it shall be transmitted for its recommendation and to the Council of States. And Council of States within a period of 14 days from the date of receipt of the bill shall return the bill to the House of the People with its recommendations. The more you read it, the more you'll realize कि एमाने recommend तो जरूर करी परिवे changes. But Lok Sabha is not bound to accept those recommendations. Se nije pakhre bill rakhi devi paribe. Ethi lekha heichi Lok Sabha shall transmit, it shall be transmitted to the Council of States. Lok Sabha thare se finance bill anla mane niyo तमर एथरे कौन मत अच्छी आमको दियो, आमको राय दियो एटा भलो अच्छी ना भल नाही. Even if the Rajya Sabha says भलो नाही, Lok Sabha can say भाड़ में जाओ, आमे तो एआई पास करिवो. असिया चालची भी एबे कंट्री रे. And even if they say कि आमे बिल तुमको फेरेबुनी, कोई बात नहीं, आम पाखे जेरॉक्स अच्छे आमे सेटा भी पास कर दो, बुझलो. So now when you read the options, it will make sense to you. When the Lok Sabha transmits the finance bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. Wrong. When the Lok Sabha transmits money bill to the Rajya Sabha, it cannot amend or reject the bill. It can only make recommendations. Right. In the case of disagreement between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, there is no joint sitting for money bill, but a joint sitting becomes necessary for finance bill. एठी अगेन से प्ले करिया वर्ड संगे प्ले करिया चेष्टा कला, आपन कंफ्यूज करिया चेष्टा कला. मनी फाइनेंस बिल इज नथिंग बट अ मनी बिल. ओके. एंड एमती कोठी भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन रे नाही कि अ जॉइंट सिटिंग बिकम्स अ नेसेसरी फॉर फाइनेंस बिल. स्पेशल प्रोविजन एज टू फाइनेंशियल बिल्स. Joint sitting, sorry, yes, joint sitting. It last year, provided that nothing in this clause shall apply to a money bill. अरे जितेबेले राज्यसभा पाखे पावर ही नाही किछि चेंज करिया पई रिगार्डिंग द कंटेंट्स ऑफ द मनी बिल, काहेकि जॉइंट सिटिंग करिवे. से तांकरी हाउस रु खाली तांकर डिसएग्रीमेंट्स बतै परिबे, लिखि कि दे परिबे, चिट्ठी लिखि परिबे, या फिर रेकमेंडेशंस दे परिबे कि वी डू नॉट लाइक दिस एग्रीमेंट्स. बट सिंस देयर इज नो पावर कि तमाने वोट न कले बिलटा पास हबनी, एमती तो जिनसटा नाही, तेणु जॉइंट सिटिंग रो किछि माने ही बनुनी. अब एटा आर्टिकल रे लेखा भी हेछि 108 रे, प्रोवाइडेड दैट नथिंग इन दिस क्लॉज शैल अप्लाई टू मनी बिल. So this is how constitutional reading can help you. Direct उठौचंदी से माने 82 statements. So this is only one. Okay, next question. Yes, this could again have been solved if 2018 re exam same question, money bill, tar provisions and whatever the answer is, again money bill 2013. If you had solved these questions while preparing, easy question. Again, constitution to direct use. Supreme Court of India has held in some judgments that reservation policies made under Article 16 of the Constitution of India would be limited by Article 335 for maintenance of efficiency of administration. This is slightly factual. Yes, they have. Supreme Court has done this. in Indra Sawhney and M. Nagaraj judgments, reservation policies made under Article 16(4) will be limited by Article 335. এটা সে কইছে কিন্তু তা next statement টা দেখুন। Article 335 of the Constitution of India defines the term efficiency of administration. No, this is false. 335 screenshot. Claims of the members of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes shall be taken into consideration consistently with the maintenance of efficiency of administration. Efficiency word, yes, efficiency word has been used, but nowhere has it been defined. Efficiency government nijo hisabre define kare by going through some data ki etiki ghanta kamo এই লোক କରିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି ଏତିକି productive କାମ ଏଇ ଲୋକ କରିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଇ ହିସାବରେ ସେମାନେ decide କରନ୍ତି efficiency କ'ଣ ହଉଛି କ'ଣ ନାହିଁ. So it has not been defined. Hence this is correct but this is wrong. Link କିଛି ନାହିଁ ତେଣୁ option A ହେଇପାରିବନି, option B ହେଇପାରିବନି. State 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Option C. Constitution बार बार कହୁଛି. Election of president. एबे हम election of president विषय रे गोटे question देखिले. ये जो when it is void due to some reason can all the acts be cancelled, etc, etc. This again is half members nominated to either house of the parliament or the legislative assemblies of state are also eligible to be included in the electoral college. This is wrong. Nominated huantini. Election of the president, Article 54. President shall be elected by an electoral college consisting of the elected members of the house of the parliament, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the state. Nominated members, जदि से कही था, जदि से माने चाही थांते कि हमें nominated members को भी दबा सेठी ए वर्ड टा यूज ही करना था हमें. The members of both the houses, the members of legislative assemblies, but they have specifically mentioned elected members, which means nominated members are not welcome. Presidential election re you have no choice, you have no voice. Okay, so this is wrong. Higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of the vote of each MLA of that state. एटार फॉर्मूला अच्छी MLA of vote ro, this again is mentioned in the constitution. Total population of a state divided by number of elected members in the state assembly into 1/1000. So MLA का value is inversely proportional to number of elected members in the state assembly. एटा जिते बेसी होबो MLA रो value सेते कम होबो. Okay. With this understanding, read this option again. Higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of vote. Big fat wrong. Dita wrong tha media line. Value of each state. The value of vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater than that of Kerala. Slightly factual. 1971 census re amara seat counting or all the seats, all the MLA, जहाँ भी हमारा all the considerations for drawing boundaries, for considering the number of seats for each state have been frozen at 1971 census, because that was the time when we took active steps for controlling the population of India. तो जेहेतु population बेसी seats बेसी बहुत सारा states कहले कि सर यदि आमे population control करिवु तो आपण तो आम सीट्स कमे देबे, आम स्टेट रो एतिकिटा सीट्स लोकसभा रे कमे देबे. तो गवर्नमेंट कहला कि नहीं ठीक अछि 1971 सेंसस रे आमे फ्रीज कर दो. तो 81 रे 91 रे 2001 रे 2011 रे 2021 रे they have kept on increasing कि next 10 years पर we'll consider, next 10 years पर we'll consider, next 10 years. It has become a total political question now. It's not just theoretical कि population केते, it's about politics. Northern states जोड़ी की TFR or population rates are still high. Southern states where TFR and population states are now declining. So जदि आजिका डेट रे आमे देखिबा कि केमती redistribute करियार अछि, UP will have more than 80 seats, Tamil Nadu will become less than 60 seats. Okay. Now, this is a factual question. 1971 census हिसाब रे the vote of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is 131, which is less than that of Kerala, 152. There was no practical way of guessing कि एटा ठीक है थी ना भूल थी वो. So if you are not aware of this, you most likely would have left this question even if the first two options were easy. Okay, and the same goes for the last option. Puducherry ଆଉ Arunachal ବିଷୟରେ ପଚାରିଛି. Value of vote of each MLA of Puducherry is higher than that of Arunachal Pradesh. Because କାହିଁକି? Because एई फॉर्मूला रे जेतेबेले आपण अरुणाचल प्रदेश और यार पॉपुलेशन पकेबे और नंबर ऑफ सीट्स पकेबे, तो दिस इज हाउ एमएलए का वोट का वैल्यू विल वैरी इन बोथ द स्टेट्स. So we had two options wrong. Value of each MLA of Madhya Pradesh is greater. No, this is also wrong. Value of each MLA of Puducherry is higher. Yes, this is right. So this is one only. Mu option double lekini is only one. But good related question again yaro thila. 2018 election of president. Vote of the value of vote of each MLA varies from state to state. Value of vote of MPs of the Lok Sabha is more than that of value of vote of MPs of Rajya Sabha. This is correct. This is wrong. Yes. So this similar question was asked. If you had solved this question, you would have gone to the basics. Ki kaun hochi kaun nahi, and maybe you could have also stumbled upon the fact that Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Puducherry, Arunachal are corner stats. Okay. Direct question. Say thi pain previous year questions important. Very easy question, very simple question. This is a factual question but a very easy one. Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every day to promote constitution, moral values among citizens. Correct. But kahin ki 26th November? Say the reason. 26th November 1949, Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Ambedkar to prepare a draft constitution of India. Drafting committee 1946 ରୁ ବସ ସାରିଲାଣି. 1949 ରେ ସେମାନେ finish କଲେ. ଏଠି ସେ କହୁଛି 1949 ରେ ସେମାନେ ସେଟअप କଲେ. And ଏଟା डायरेक्ट ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି କୋଉଠି? Preamble. On this day, 26th day of November 1949, we adopt, enact and give ourselves this constitution. This is what is asked. Preamble. Again, bare act. Preamble A to Z to explanation na padi ki you have to remember each and every word of the preamble. Like you have to read the constitution, you have to read the preamble, the original preamble. So this is right, this is wrong. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is false. Slightly factual. In India, prisons are managed by state governments with their own rules and regulations for the day-to-day administration of prisons. Yes. 7th schedule. If you know about 7th schedule, go to union list achi, go to state list achi, go to concurrent list achi. Okay. State list entry number 4. Prisons, reformatories, borstal institutions and other institutions of a like nature and persons detained therein is 7th schedule. State list. Direct. So this option is correct. Now there's a UPSC answer ki release करेनी. बहुत सारे experts को मानने वाला था कि this is also correct. Let me read it first. In India, prisons are governed by Prisons Act 1894, which expressly kept the subject of prisons in the control of provincial governments. See, union list, our state list, all this came after the 1935 Government of India Act because ସେଇଠି ସେମାନେ divide कले provincial government और ये government etc. But the genesis of it, कोडी origin कोडी हेतला? Origin हेतला Prisons Act 1894. बहुत परे जाएंगी यूनियन लिस्ट स्टेट लिस्ट ये सब टर्म्स ऐड हैला 1935 GOI एक्ट रे ओके so what UPSC has kept in mind while it is writing the answer deciding the answer we cannot be sure yet okay some say this is correct some say no this is wrong because 80 reason should have been because 7th schedule re seta union list re achi state list re achi okay so we are not sure about the authenticity of this answer right now but both the statements in essence are correct and this may be an explanation or this may be the answer official answer ki asle I'll clarify answer kon dele se mane so that finishes your polity section also we just you know rush through the polity section because it is so straightforward because we are reading the constitution but economy re amu gote gote question re 15 minute lagutla because there are so many concepts involved I hope I was able to get this off to a good start. I'll come back with part 2, the next questions of 2023. Upon patience rakhibe. Maybe I am also new to my job, but I am trying my best to be as simple and as logical as possible in my explanations. So until next time, thank you from Ezugan IAS. We'll see you again.